The alien fleet shattered like glass under a sledgehammer against the human wall of death, after ignoring the humans' one stern warning to turn back or be destroyed. Deep in Gamelon space, in a darkened war room, Commander Sagan slumped in his chair, head in his clawed hands. Across from him, his old friend Koltak sat ramrod straight, not sure what to make of Sagan's haggard demeanor. The dim lights highlighted the lines of stress on Sagan's face. "I tell you, Koltak, in all my cycles I've never seen anything like it," Sagan said, voice quivering. "We thought the humans weak and primitive. By the stars, we were wrong." Koltak leaned forward, reptilian eyes widening. "The humans? But they've been isolated for centuries, ever since the Dolan incident. What happened?" Sagan drew a ragged breath. "It started when our scouts reported unusual activity near the human border. High Lord Zorgoth sent the 7th Fleet to investigate, thinking our tech would crush any human resistance." "The 7th Fleet?" Koltak scoffed. "Over 1,000 of our most advanced ships. What could humans do against that?" Sagan met his gaze, expression dark. "That's what we thought, but a lone human vessel approached, broadcasting on all frequencies. Small, unimpressive craft, piloted by one Jeffrey Campbell." Sagan's claws dug into the table. Campbell's message was short. "You have entered human space. Turn back now. This is your only warning. We are waiting for you." Lord Zorgoth laughed at this primitive creature and ordered the fleet to seize his ship. "Waiting for us?" Koltak puzzled. "What does that mean?" Sagan shook his head grimly. "We found out soon enough, Koltak, we found out soon enough. If the truth of what transpired next got out, it could shatter the Gamelon Empire's grip on the galaxy. Countless subjugated races would revolt. Sagan had to convince the High Lords to pull back before it was too late." Koltak sat back, his mind reeling from the implications of Sagan's words. "By the stars, Sagan, if what you say is true, then the humans possess technology far beyond anything we've ever dreamed of. A single ship able to disable an entire fleet, an entire empire. It's unthinkable." Sagan nodded grimly. "Indeed, and that was just the beginning. As our ships hung there dead in space, the human fleet began to move. They encircled us, their weapons trained on our helpless vessels. And then Campbell spoke again." Koltak leaned forward, his eyes wide. "What did he say?" "He offered us a choice," Sagan said, his voice hollow. "Surrender unconditionally and face the consequences of our aggression, or be destroyed utterly. There would be no negotiation, no compromise. We had brought this upon ourselves, and now we would pay the price." Koltak shook his head in disbelief. "Surely Lord Zorgoth didn't agree to such terms." Sagan laughed bitterly. "What choice did he have, Koltak? Our entire military was at the mercy of the humans. One word from Campbell, and we would have been wiped from existence. No, Lord Zorgoth had no choice but to accept the humans' demands." Koltak sat back, his mind racing. And what were those demands? Sagan met his gaze, his expression grim. "The humans dictated the terms of our surrender. We were to withdraw immediately from all occupied territories, dismantle our military, and submit to human oversight. They would be watching us closely," Campbell said, "to ensure we never again posed a threat to galactic peace." Koltak's jaw dropped. "The humans, they're not just technologically superior, Sagan. They're strategically brilliant. They played us like fools, luring us in and then striking when we least expected it. We never stood a chance." Sagan nodded, his expression haunted. "You're right, Koltak. We underestimated the humans, and now we're paying the price. Our empire is in ruins, our military shattered, and the humans, they've emerged as the undisputed masters of the galaxy." Koltak leaned forward, his voice urgent. "But surely there must be something we can do, Sagan. Some way to resist, to fight back against the humans' dominion." Sagan shook his head sadly. "Fight back? With what, Koltak? The humans have rendered us utterly helpless. No. Our only hope now is to comply with their demands and pray that their oversight is not too harsh. We brought this upon ourselves, and now we must live with the consequences." Koltak slumps back in his chair, his mind reeling from the implications of Sagan's words. "So what you're saying is, We're not just outmatched technologically, we're outmatched strategically as well. Sagan nods grimly. The humans played us like a fiddle, Koltak. They let us think we had the upper hand, let us underestimate them, and then they struck when we least expected it. Koltak rubs his temples, trying to process the enormity of the situation. And now they have access to all our secrets, all our weaknesses. They could cripple us with the push of a button. Exactly, Sagan says, his voice heavy with resignation. We're at their mercy now, Koltak. The fate of the Gamelon Empire rests in human hands. Koltak looks up, a sudden thought occurring to him. But why the message? We are waiting for you. What does that mean? Sagan shakes his head. I wish I knew. But one thing is certain. The humans have a plan for us and we're not going to like it. Koltak shivers, the words echoing in his mind. We are waiting for you. It sounds like a promise, a threat, and a warning, all rolled into one. Sagan leans forward, his expression intense. Don't you see, Koltak? The humans have been playing the long game. They've been watching us, studying us, biding their time, and now they're ready to make their move. Koltak feels a cold dread settle in the pit of his stomach. And we walked right into their trap. We practically handed them the keys to our empire. Sagan nods solemnly. We did. And now we must face the consequences of our arrogance, our underestimation of the humans. Koltak looks at Sagan, fear and uncertainty etched on his face. So what do we do now, Sagan? How do we face an enemy that knows us better than we know ourselves? Sagan meets Koltak's gaze, his expression grim. I don't know, Koltak, but one thing is clear. The balance of power in the galaxy has shifted, and we are no longer the ones calling the shots. The humans are, and we must learn to live in a universe where they, not us, are the dominant force. Koltak shakes his head, still struggling to come to terms with the new reality. I never thought I'd see the day when the Gamelon Empire would be brought to its knees by a species we once considered primitive. Sagan laughs humorlessly. Neither did I, Koltak, but here we are at the mercy of the humans, our fate resting in their hands. Koltak leans forward, his voice heavy with disbelief. So the humans not only infiltrated our space and disabled our fleets, but they also seeded our entire empire with weapons of mass destruction, all without us ever suspecting a thing. Sagan nods grimly, his claws clicking against the table. Indeed, the scope of their operation is staggering. They must have been planning this for cycles, Koltak, biding their time, gathering intelligence and positioning their pieces on the board. Koltak shakes his head, his mind reeling. And we played right into their hands. Our arrogance blinded us to the true nature of the threat we faced. Sagan's voice drops to a whisper. The humans warned us, Koltak. They gave us a chance to stand down, to avoid the consequences of our actions, but we didn't listen. Koltak's eyes widen as a sudden realization dawns on him. The message. We are waiting for you. It wasn't just a warning, was it? It was a promise of what would happen if we crossed them. Sagan nods solemnly. And now we must live with the consequences of our choices. The humans have proven themselves to be far more cunning and capable than we ever imagined. They have outmaneuvered us at every turn. Koltak leans back in his chair, his expression haunted. So what happens now, Sagan? What do the humans want from us? Sagan spreads his claws in a gesture of uncertainty. That remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. The balance of power has shifted. The Gamelon Empire is no longer the dominant force in the galaxy. We are now at the mercy of the humans and their superior technology. Koltak's voice trembles slightly. And if we step out of line, if we provoke their wrath once more? Sagan meets Koltak's gaze, his eyes filled with a grim certainty. Then they will not hesitate to use the weapons they have placed within our borders. The mines are a constant reminder of the power they wield over us, a sword hanging over our heads, ready to fall at a moment's notice. Koltak shudders, the weight of the situation pressing down on him like a physical force. We have no choice then. We must comply with their demands, no matter how much it galls us to do so. Sagan nods, his expression resigned. It is a bitter pill to swallow, Koltak, but it is the only way forward. The humans have left us no other option. Koltak's claws dig into the armrests of his chair, his frustration boiling over. To think that we, the mighty Gamilon Empire, could be brought so low by a species we once considered primitive and weak. Sargon shakes his head, a rueful smile playing across his lips. We underestimated them, Koltak. We thought ourselves superior, and in our arrogance we failed to see the true nature of the threat they posed. And now we must pay the price for our folly. Koltak's hands tremble as he grips the armrests of his chair, his eyes wide with a mixture of fear and awe. By the stars, Sagan, he whispers. The humans, they're not just technologically advanced, they're strategically brilliant. They played us like pawns on a chessboard, always 10 steps ahead. Sagan nods, his expression haunted. Indeed, we thought ourselves the masters of the galaxy, but in truth we were mere children compared to the humans. They saw through our every move, predicted our every action, and in the end, they held all the cards. Koltak shakes his head, still struggling to comprehend the magnitude of the humans' victory, and the way they crippled our infrastructure with just a handful of carefully placed mines. It's terrifying. They knew exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage. Sagan's claws dig into the table, his voice low and intense. That's the thing about the humans, Koltak. They don't just rely on brute force. They use precision, cunning, and a deep understanding of their enemy's weaknesses. They studied us, learned everything about us, and then used that knowledge against us. Koltak's voice trembles as he speaks. And now we're at their mercy. They could wipe us out at any moment if they so choose. Sagan sighs heavily, his shoulders slumping. That's the price of our arrogance, Koltak. We underestimated the humans, and we paid dearly for it. But even in defeat, they showed a level of restraint that is humbling. Koltak frowns, confused. Restraint? They crippled our military and left us defenseless. Sagan meets Koltak's gaze, his eyes intense. Yes, but they could have done far worse. They could have wiped us out entirely, but they chose not to. They gave us a warning, a chance to learn from our mistakes. And that, Koltak, is perhaps the most terrifying thing of all. Koltak leans forward, his voice low. What do you mean? Sagan's expression is grim. The humans are not just technologically and strategically superior, Koltak. They are morally superior as well. They have a code of honor, a sense of justice that we can scarcely comprehend, and that is what truly sets them apart. Koltak sits back, his mind reeling. A code of honor, but they're warriors, conquerors. Sagan shakes his head. No, Koltak, they are defenders. They fight not for glory or power, but to protect the weak and innocent, and that is a strength that we Gamilons have never understood. Koltak falls silent, his thoughts racing. The humans had not just defeated the Gamilon Empire, he realizes. They had exposed the very flaws in their society, the weaknesses in their character, and in doing so, they had forced the Gamilons to confront a harsh truth, that they were not the masters of the galaxy, but merely one species among many, subject to the same laws and consequences as any other. Sagan's voice cuts through Koltak's thoughts, soft and somber. The humans have given us a gift, Koltak, a chance to learn, to grow, to become something better than we were before, and it is up to us to seize that chance, to build a new future for ourselves and for the galaxy as a whole. Koltak meets Sagan's gaze, his expression a mixture of fear and determination. But how, Sagan, how do we move forward from this? Sagan's eyes glint with a fierce intensity. We start by acknowledging our mistakes, Koltak. We start by learning from the humans, by understanding what makes them so strong. And then we work to rebuild our society, our culture, our very way of life. It will not be easy, but it is the only way forward. Koltak nods slowly, a sense of purpose growing within him. The humans had given the Gamilons a wake-up call, a chance to change their ways before it was too late. And he knows that he must be a part of that change, that he must work to build a better future for his people and for the galaxy as a whole. The two Gamilons sit in silence for a long moment, each lost in their own thoughts. The weight of the future hangs heavy upon them, but there is also a sense of hope, a glimmer of possibility amidst the darkness. The humans had shown them the way, had given them a chance to become something greater than they ever thought possible, and now it is up to the Gamilons to seize that chance, to rise from the ashes of their defeat and build a new world, a better world, for all the beings of the galaxy. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.